Hyper Light Drifter was one of the surprisingly fantastic games of the previous generation of platforms. It hit just about every console, PC, etc. Very positive reception towards the game, had like an 85 on Metacritic, and generally speaking, really put Heart Machine on the map as a development studio right out of the gate. It was just a great game that was a throwback, but at the same time had a fantastic look that really resonated with a large audience. Since then, Heart Machine also put out Solar Ash. That game was in development for a very long time, actually. Alex Preston noted that the game was in development for 5 years, and obviously that game took a much different direction than Hyper Light Drifter. And now circling back, we are coming up on the follow-up title to Hyper Light Drifter in Hyper Light Breaker. Now, right away, when you look at this game, it is very much of a different style than Hyper Light Drifter. While it is going to share that similar level of DNA that Alex Preston did note when he spoke on X-Play, this is a game that is going to be taking things a little bit of a different route. It is going to be a brand new story set in the same world, and it is going to have some stylistic similarities and some foundation similarities, but you can expect a whole new, unique game in its own right. Now, right off the top, I do want to note that this is a game that looks to be a ways away. It'll be hitting early access in spring of 2023, so it's a PC release only right now on Steam. However, ultimately, I do believe this game, much like Hyper Light Drifter, will come to just about every platform it can run on. This is a game that commercially, it'll do very well on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch if they can get it on there, but obviously it'll be hitting early access first in spring of 2023. The game began work back in October of 2020, and with an official press release that I want to read to you guys, Alex Preston did speak a little bit about the game, noting, "It's wild to think it's been 6 years since we released Hyper Light Drifter. The long journey from the dream project getting kickstarted back in 2013 to now has been incredible. We feel deeply fortunate to be able to celebrate the franchise in this way. Crowdfunding for the game exceeded our wildest expectations, leading to millions of players from around the world falling in love with Hyper Light Drifter. Fans put their trust in us back then to deliver on the vision. We can't wait for our community to experience Hyper Light Breaker. It's a new path and culmination of everything we have learned over the past 8 years of development at Heart Machine." Gearbox Publishing San Francisco president Yoon Im added, "As huge fans of Hyper Light Drifter, we are thrilled to partner with Heart Machine to bring Hyper Light Breaker to life. Hyper Light Drifter has a passionate community of players who fell in love with the game's unique presentation, and Hyper Light Breaker will elevate that with its stylish 3D world and unforgettable art style alone. Players are going to love exploring the Hyper Light universe like never before." So obviously, Hyper Light Drifter in its own right was a fantastic game, and while this game is retaining that Hyper Light name, right off the bat, from a visual standpoint, you can see that this game is a far different title. In terms of presentation, it's a 3D game, and that alone is going to change up the gameplay quite a bit. While we don't know a ton, the Steam page does give us more insight in what to expect out of the game. We have some screenshots. Let's talk about it. On the official Steam page, the game notes, "Enter the Overgrowth, a new land in the world of Hyper Light. Play alone or with friends to explore massive biomes, defeat brutal monsters, create new builds, survive the mysterious crowns, and overthrow the almighty Abyss King in this adventure from the creators of Hyper Light Drifter." The game continues to note, "A brand new 3D world to explore, a world in disarray with mysteries to solve, vicious enemies to fight, and fully 3D environments to explore. A vast, ever-changing world awaits with massive open biomes and deep labyrinths." I'm really interested how that's going to impact gameplay of the game. It was noted that this is going to be an evolving world, so hopefully they can nail that element of the game. In this bigger world 3D environment, I'm excited to see how that does fundamentally alter the gameplay style. It notes, "Use your wall dashing, hoverboard glider, and more for incredible freedom across landscapes. Play single player or lead your team of breakers through the Overgrowth in online cooperative play. Face hordes of enemies and gigantic bosses in frantic third-person combat. Explore, collect, and destroy. Discover and unlock a wide arsenal of weapons and items to create the perfect build for every run. Learn more about Overgrowth and the deep storylines hidden with each death and subsequent attempt. Help the settlement flourish over the course of your journey. Your accomplishments will introduce new colorful characters and permanent upgrades to the hub. Visit settlers between each run and discover their unique evolving stories." So this game does, on the surface, seem like it's greatly expanding on the offerings from Hyper Light Drifter. Again, Hyper Light Drifter was a great game, but this is looking to take it up a notch quite a bit. Right away from the presentation and the style of the game, you can see that come together. Also, if you have yet to watch the trailer with the music turned up, please go do that, because one of the great elements of Hyper Light Drifter was the excellent soundtrack. And while we don't have an idea of the entire soundtrack of Hyper Light Breaker, the trailer did a really good job in getting me convinced that they're going to do another great job with Hyper Light Breaker, and soundtrack-wise, I think it's going to be another slam dunk. So again, hopefully they do live up to the expectations and the level of quality that Hyper Light Drifter did set. Again, the game will be hitting early access in early 2023, spring of 2023, I should say, and it'll be exciting to see how this game does turn out. Again, information on the game is currently sparse, but I imagine a lot more is going to come out over the coming months, and really over the course of 2022 as we head into 2023 and the game's early access launch. Hopefully it's not a lengthy early access period, and we do get the game on a bunch of other platforms and a full-on release in late 23, maybe early 24. We'll see how ultimately that all shakes out, but at this point, that would just be speculation. Just do expect early access in spring of 23. That's the tentative window. Things can change at the drop of a dime in the gaming world these days, so just bear that in mind. But that's gonna do it for me. Definitely let me know your guys' expectations and excitement level for Hyper Light Breaker. I know some people weren't crazy about the presentation shift, but at the same time, I also see a lot of people that are super excited about it, so definitely sound off in the comments section down below. Leave your thoughts there. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.